In season 1, they tried to put me in a corset, which was not pleasant and kind of embarrassing. So I trained like crazy for 2 weeks to get rid of it, and I thankfully never wore a corset on screen. Hi, I'm Antony Starr, I play Homelander on The Boys. Today, I'm going to illuminate you as to my diet and how it informs my training. The philosophy that, if there is a philosophy behind my diet as I've gotten up in years, has adjusted somewhat because I have to do a lot more to stay in shape. It's harder to stay in shape once you're over 40. I have to be much more conscious of my nutrition, do a lot more stretching. Yoga has become a big part of my life. As a general rule, I go for proteins, fats, anything green, veggies, cruciferous vegetables. I don't eat a hell of a lot of carbohydrates. I'm not afraid of carbohydrates, but if I do, it tends to be vegetable carbs as opposed to pastas and breads. I just find that the inflammation in my body is reduced by a diet that is just mainly fats and proteins and veggies. And a lot of avocado. A lot of avocado. Avocado is a superfood, as is broccoli. So broccoli and avocado are my go-tos. I tend to avoid junk food as much as possible, although there is, I'm not gonna brand name it, but there is one pizza joint started up by a nameless celebrity who makes the best gluten-free pizza I've ever had. Not that I'm a pizza aficionado, Americans. In the off season, I'm much less conscious of shape and more conscious of what's going on internally and trying to stay healthy. Once we're starting to get towards the season and I've got to get back into that spandex suit, my little spandy friend, I actually have to start considering a lot more what I'm eating. It would look like some scrambled eggs, maybe a piece of toast, sourdough, and some avocado in the morning. I do like making up a big bowl of crudité, I believe they're called. That sounds like a jet. Anyway, chopped vegetables and hummus with some more protein, a chicken breast or something for lunch. In the evening, try and keep it pretty light, so more chicken probably, because my go-to is chicken. I sound like I'm working for a poultry factory, but I try and eat clean and lean through the week, but weekends, it's a little more anything goes, and I am a fan of burgers. I have a huge problem with burgers. So Saturday night is me couch burgers. Go-to snacks, God, I'm gonna sound like a typical actor. Like almonds, nuts, fresh fruit, things like that. God, I'm so dull. Oh, I should make something up, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. In terms of exercise, I try and balance it out. Like, I do some weights, but more than anything now, it's about staying uninjured. Yoga has been incorporated into my weekly routine 3 or 4 times a week. I do weights. I got a gym out the back of my house. One of the problems that I've found is that in this industry we travel so much. I have a little TRX and some bands that come with me everywhere I go. There's always a door frame or somewhere that I can get a workout in. If not, I'll go to push-ups and sit-ups. If I'm gonna do weight training, then I'll probably have some good, healthy fats or carbs beforehand, a bit of protein afterwards. I don't over-exaggerate the intake of food because I'm not trying to gain any massive size at this point. Dave Bautista's around, so they can find a big guy if they want to. They're not gonna go to me. My eating habits have had to be drastically changed for 2 things in particular. One was The Boys, because of the nature of the suits. They're very form-fitting, so I have to keep myself almost exactly the same shape for the entire 7-8 months of the shoot. I'm pretty sure that they would let me know if anything was starting to show through my spandex. Doing Banshee which is a show I did a while back, there was so much stunt work. I had to really stay in shape for that. In fact, that's probably the healthiest I've ever been, I think, because we had personal trainers coming in and the requirement there was like a really high level of fitness and actually was really enjoyable with a great supportive team around you. Homelander's cheat meal. Milkshakes, burgers with extra thick buns, and then maybe, what do you guys call them? We call them like a curler, frosty cone, whatever. It's basically like milk and pig fat, washed down with another thick, creamy milkshake. Craft services in New Zealand is relatively basic. There is food there, but it's not like craft services in America. And what I have learned is that if you go to the craft service table too many times a day, your body shape changes in a matter of days. Being that I look at myself in the mirror so much, I notice the handles coming up. The volume of food that's available on set in America is incredible. I walked in, I was like, wow, this is like a junk food buffet. I avoid the craft services table. I think that's good advice to anyone in the industry. I think the hardest thing for me is combining the diet and the training together to work in sync, because balance for me is a monthly thing, it's not a daily thing. The toughest diet I've ever done for a role would have been preparing for season 1 for the boys, getting into that spandex, maintaining the exact same shape for 6-7 months. That was tricky. I have no thoughts on Vegemite. I am a Marmite fan. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Vegemite because I don't want to get sued by Vegemite. But Marmite. Pasta. I'm a sucker for pasta. Spaghetti bolognese. If I could eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be either burgers or spaghetti bolognese. Go-to comfort food, either burgers or pasta. When it comes to those two foods, I don't have an off switch. I'm one of those people that instead of, if I'm gonna have a burger, I order 3 because I'm not sure which one I want, and I'm like, I'll just eat one. And they're all gone within an hour. Secret to a really good protein shake for me is a tablespoon of peanut butter, just to give it a little bit more texture, a little thickness, a little sweetening without being over the top, and also you know that you're getting good healthy fats. I would go for a really nice eye fillet steak. Definitely from New Zealand. Assuming I've had a date lately. Last meal I cooked for a date. Actually, I was quite proud of myself. I made a mashed kumara. It's Japanese sweet potato. We call it kumara in New Zealand, with a rack of lamb, oven roasted, and a red wine reduction on top, with some baby carrots roasted as well. And it worked really well. I was super impressed because I'm not a cook. Yeah, I think bed is probably my favorite place to eat. There's nothing better. Is to put on some kind of junky movie, maybe a superhero movie. Not that they're junky, but they're just easy to digest. I love those pea snacks, the wasabi ranch flavor, and some Diet Coke. That, for me, in bed, oof, heaven. Thank you for having me, Men's Health, talk about my diet and exercise regime. I've learned a lot from this, and I hope you learned a little something too.